Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
And I'm back in board.
Yes, he is. He is back from Japan, and we are doing something different actually for our stream than we typically do on a Saturday
That's true.
stream. We're doing not only a playthrough of, but first a rulebook rundown of Pillars of Heracles.
Yes, you've probably heard us talk about this game before. It's been a long time coming. I pre-ordered it last year, or backed it last year. Been excited for it. It came right before I left for Japan. We just did an unboxing for YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, go check that out first if you want to see all the components.
Yeah.
But we're going to dive in. We're going to go through this rule book, get a base understanding of how this game works, how it plays, all of the pieces here that are available to us, and then here live on stream, dig into a playthrough that probably will take about 2 to 3 hours. It says 90 minutes to 2 hours, but first playthrough always takes longer, and it's us.
And it's us. It's a war game, and it's us, so just double the time.
Yes, that is true. But here we go. Overview of Pillars of Heracles.
Heracles. I'm going to put this in the middle so I can help.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. Okay, out of the way so I can reach.
We're going to come down to the board here. So you guys can see the main board that we have here. This is the Aegean side. We'll go over. There's two sides to the board, which you will find out as we get going.
Look at that. The GNC Mediterranean.
Oh, man. You know what's crazy? Like the board itself fits perfectly in our view. But we'll probably stay on this view so you can see everything from our... Actually, these just barely fit in.
Yeah, but...
into view.
4 and 6 should be able to show these. We'll see what we need to show on screen.
You can't... It doesn't give us the whole board. It cuts off the very bottom and stuff. But yeah, if we want to go in close, we have 4 so you can see mine. We'll have 6 so you can see where CB1 does that.
All right. Overview.
I have it on your printer. Wait, read.
Sure. In Pillars of Heracles, you lead a Greek city-state navigating the archaic period of ancient Hellas. This era witnessed the Greeks' pioneering spirit as they explored new lands and established settlements along the vast Mediterranean shoreline.
Cue God of War music.
The Gregorian chant type music.
Yeah.
Your goal is to guide your people to greatness and ascend as the most glorious city-state of them all. Develop your city-state by recruiting characters, constructing buildings and monuments, deploying and commanding units, settling new territories, trading resources for powerful upgrades, and seeking divine favor. Secure your triumph by mastering controlling cities and regions, fulfilling ancient prophecies, and erecting awe-inspiring monuments to stand the test of time. The Pillars of Heracles, 2 promontories at the eastern entrance of the Strait of Gibraltar, mark the boundaries of the known world to the ancient Greeks. They believe that beyond the pillars forged by Heracles to mark his legendary Odyssey for the golden apples of Hesperides, Greek god name, the feet of immortality lay the realm of gods. All right, so yeah, we have a bunch of things we're doing. We have resources, we have units, we have territories. So if you've seen our successor streams, there's going to be some things that are similar to that, but also its own unique thing. So component overview. So we have 2 sides. The side you see here, a little blue marker on the bottom left-hand corner there, is the Aegean side. The other side has an orange marker, which is the Mediterranean side. Each side of the game board consists of spaces, which is the territory defined by the white borders. So you have these different white borders, which are the full spaces, land space and sea spaces. A region consists of 3 land spaces with the same color. So as you can see the different color groupings. On the Aegean side of the board, although spaces of the Cyclades region show islands in the sea, they're only considered to be land. So it's just, it's an archipelago, but it's land.
So technically, these aren't sea, where I'm sure being in these spaces are sea and have some other different gameplay mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah, so anything inside the color borders is land. Anything inside the white borders, which would be on this side of the colors, are sea spaces.
They have numbers on them too.
Oh,
they all do, never mind.
No, just
all the water ones. Oh, interesting. The water ones have numbers on them, but...
Yes. And there is a errata thing listed in here. An errata, not erotic. Where...
An erotic errata.
They gave an update. It wasn't much, but there was like 4 little things that had some changes. So let me open that up over here.
Like gameplay changes or?
Yeah, it was just wording changes. It wasn't. So it's these 4 pages. We'll call them out. But they were very simple thing.
That's what
it's just some wording.
When I went to go dive into the Spire's End playthrough, Greg over at Favreau Adventures, who made Spire's End, he reached out to us on Instagram and was like, "Hey, by the way, here's an updated rulebook." And I asked him, like, was any major changes? It was mainly wording for the battle, which honestly, the battle was. Yeah. The wording's clear in the rulebook.
Yeah. So I looked at this, and they're very simple sentences, but we'll call them out as we go through.
And the Yuku was exactly what we ended up figuring out. And you're like, how's it worded on the enemy card? The Yuku fruit is like gain 1.
Yeah.
It's like temporarily. It always resets back to whatever that normal value is. Anyway, different game.
I just called it out, and he's like, God damn.
Yep. As a person, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, it says gain.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know how to text it easily to be like, I know what I'm thinking, but like, how do I quickly word it so you can just read it and be like,
Yeah. You should have said it's the same word used on the enemies.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. So on the game board, bottom left corner, we have a Rondel, which is the circle. That is how you advance and select an... Oh, so I read that backward. You advance on the Rondel and you select an action by playing an action card from your hand.
Okay.
So we'll explain it a little more clearly, but... It's different actions and how...
Similar to a lot of games, what is it? Ostia has kind of a Rondel-esque thing, but it's in the actual Ostia marketplace that you end up moving your ship along, which allows you to do actions in those areas. So same thing here. Action, okay.
We have first player marker.
It's a boat.
We have, and this is still over here, player boards. So 4 player boards. There's 4 colors. Red, yellow, blue, and green. We'll go more into detail during the setup of what everything on this player board means. We have a bunch of city states available. So that's all these tiles right here that you'll be able to see as the game progresses. So we'll be able to earn different city states. And we have an Aegean side and a Mediterranean side.
We are on the Aegean side of the board, so I assume we're using the Aegean side at the moment.
Yes.
Don't worry about me. I'm making a mess over here. Take this out.
We each have player aids, 2-sided. Very thorough. Just one quick glance, it goes over a lot of the symbols and what all of these things mean on one side. On the other side, goes through the phases and tells you this is exactly what you do on each phase in order. So most likely after this rulebook rundown, we hopefully won't need this rulebook other than like random one-off scenarios.
Or near end game, we're looking for a loophole.
Yeah. We have city tiles. So those are the tiles, the little hexagonal ones here in front of us.
These are city tiles?
So those are your city tiles. Cool. So we each have a starting city, and then there's some common city tiles marked in gray.
Okay.
We have track tiles. So there are 6 tracks that'll be in play in this game. So those tracks are as follows. This here is the Olympian track, called the wine track. This here is the military track, or the iron track. And each track has a type of resource associated. This here is the mercenary gold track. This is the navigation wood track. This is the... this is the Olympian wine track. This is the wild track. This is the Titan track, because it has all the colors. This one's just purple. This is the wine track. And this is the civilization marble track.
Okay.
So those will be in play.
I was saying no idea what that means.
Yeah, we don't have any idea what that means yet, but those are 6 resources that are available, or 5 resources.
Single-sided, so I wonder if those are going to be off the side of the board.
We have different resource tiles. So we have wine, we have marble, we have a singular. We have more gold. There we go. Like, why is there only one gold? We have gold, we have wood, and we have iron. So those are the 5 resources that we just covered there. Okay. Those are the resource tiles.
Cool.
Looks like there's only 4. So it looks like you either have the resource or don't have the resource. I'm assuming 1 for each player.
Yeah, he only plays 1 to 4, right?
Yeah, it only plays up to 4.
Yep.
So I'm assuming by doing something here, maybe this is on there and you unlock the resource. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We have population tiles, which there's a bunch of tiles outside the board we'll get to. We have strategy tiles, which are all of these gray ones that have a bunch of different things on them.
Are they double-sided or single-sided?
They're single.
Empty.
Yeah. And then we have all of our player pieces, which we will dig into in the setup of all of these minis. We have prophecy cards and other card decks here. Forbidden Domain, which are these 2.
Okay.
Action cards, mythology cards, mythological tokens that are associated with the mythology cards, and then siege tokens, which are these here.
Reach out. Oh, these are the big ones we have.
Yes. And then it says the remaining components are used in certain gameplays, and it gives you a bunch of other things.
Wait, what were these?
That one is not been called out yet.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bunch of tokens and everything else. We'll cover all of them through our rulebook rundown and setup here.
Here we go.
All right, so let's pull these off. Boom, 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 and boom, and boom.
Those. Soon they're gonna go on the side of the board.
Probably I'll hand them off as we
Okay.
get there. Setup. What is the first step?
Put the board in the middle of the table.
And select the side.
Ah, new.
Yeah, select the side. So we're gonna start. Actually, what do we want to play the gameplay with? Do we want to go Aegean or do we want to go Mediterranean? Your choice. I like both.
I was gonna say flip a coin, but these are all the same. Can we flip one of these? Ready? The actual strategy side, we'll do Aegean. The other side that has the little Spartan on it, we will do Mediterranean. Aegean.
All right.
What was the?
No, I was like, okay.
Why not?
Yeah, that works.
Random. So we're doing this side.
All right, perfect. It's already set up. So first we're gonna do is separate the mythology cards by type. So mythology cards are these decks here. So as we go through, you'll see different types. So boom, there's one.
You know what I just, looking at the board here, we may have to have our boards off to the side potentially because there looks like the cards go above these.
They do. That's fine. We can go.
Yeah. I'm just saying before we start setting up.
Hold on, we're in the full zoom out. That can go right there. And we have this whole side. Because all of this will move as we use. So for now, we'll leave it. Well, actually, for yours, we'll just do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll move all my stuff afterwards, after the rulebook.
So, all right. So deck one right there is the dude holding. So you're going to create a deck of this and shuffle.
Okay.
We're going to create a deck of this one and shuffle, and a deck of this one and shuffle. And place it on the appropriate icons. It will hang off the board a little bit, so that's just an FYI. In theory, these are shuffled because we don't know what they say.
I was gonna say it doesn't have to because you could do it like we just did.
Yeah, that was just the picture showed it, like where you see the bar. So it could hang off the board, but I'm gonna do that because I would knock it if it was
Exactly.
hanging off. All right. When playing with fewer than 3 players, remove character cards showing a little red 3-player icon. The character cards are good question. Where's number 3? Oh, character cards are the blue bottoms. These.
Oh, there's a character cards, not monuments. So remove the ones that show 3.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, there's both. Okay. There. Oh no. So those specific. So there's 2 types of character cards. That deck and this deck. But there could be a red.
Where it says.
It's a red little circle. There's 3 people in it.
So none of these.
Like that symbol right down the bottom.
Okay. Double check. Yep, all these are in play.
Okay.
Nothing.
So these will only be in play in a 3 and 4 person game. I wish they would have just put these on top in the stack, but that's okay. All right. Oh, there's 1 extra for your stack.
Not me. It's over here.
Oh, it was in your hand a minute ago. Okay. So for those, shuffle the monument cards and place them into 3 face-down decks as evenly as possible on the 3 spaces.
Okay, so that's going to be those.
Then shuffle the character cards,
The same thing.
which are those. Oh, so only the character. And okay, that deck specifically is the character deck.
Got it.
It just shows both of these in the same step, so I assumed all of it was character cards. The same thing. You're going to shuffle those as evenly as possible, split up into 3 sections.
Yep.
Shuffle the track tiles. And place 1 at random into each region. So the track tiles are the 6 we just showed on the board here.
As evenly as possible is exactly even because there's 15 total. So.
Oh, perfect.
These ones we will hang off the edge because
And
we have this
then
track.
after we do so, we'll flip the top one face up.
Okay.
So these all get shuffled and get placed into each of the regions here.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought was gonna happen initially. Does it go? It goes on the bottom, not the top.
Nope. You see the numbers.
Okay, that's fine.
Fantastic. Oh, so just like that, so it lines up 1 through 5.
Yeah.
That makes significantly more sense. I hate that already.
Because it's not exactly perfect.
No, because it bumps up against the cards. This
Oh.
one specifically only. So we're gonna have 1 extra. Or my oh no,
That's the 6 total.
Steven can't just count. Steve can't count. Okay. Place a common city tile.
Oh, this one I think goes. Oh,
That was a nit. That was all you.
this goes this way though.
Yes, it does. You're right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing.
Place a common city tile on steps 3 and 5 of each track. So 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1,
3,
2,
5.
3, 4. There we go. And a number of common city tiles equal to the number of players on the space below the build section of the rondel, which will be, there's 2 of us playing, so 2 of these will go on, right into that marker right there. Remove any unused from the game. So there's 2 left over because 3 and 4 players, so these will just get removed off to the side of the game.
And so all these top cards flip over. You said.
Top card of each deck face up. So that's why you would unlock first, and then when you buy one or get one, then you unlock or open the next one, I'm assuming. Place the strategy tiles by type based on the icons on their back side. So the strategy tiles are all of these, 21 tiles right here. There should be 3 stacks, and then flip the top one. So
I'm
I
gonna turn
guess.
these in so that way they're facing the middle of the board for us.
So Sparta wasn't the only one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
That's fine. Is the best one.
That's 6 there. 7 there. 4, 7, 4, 7. Okay.
Three.
Split into 3 stacks. A stack's of 3.
And these go on the.
Flip the top tile. We have 7 though, so there must be an extra one in here because of the epic version.
And these go on the actual 3 and 5 on these.
Yeah, so when you
there. Okay.
correct. So over here on the upper corner of the game board, we have the stacks for each of these. So this is the Spartan stack. So 3, 3, and then it says flip 1. Flip the top one of each. So one of these stacks is just going to have 4. Which I'm assuming is because I have the epic version, so there's 1 additional tile in each one.
Or maybe there's one that's supposed to be left out specifically.
It's because like it says that specific to like the step above to like remove extra from the game. This just says, I don't know. It says split into 2 face down stacks of 3. Okay.
Right. So
All right.
yeah, because I mean
So we'll
it means
take one out.
increase the randomness.
That's true. All right, so we'll take that one out because I didn't look at it. Take that one out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, and then place the mythology tiles next to the game board. Those would be, there's 4 of them. There's circles. Circles. Those aren't circles.
Oh, these. I was like, the circle on it.
Oh.
So these 4 just go next to the game board.
Yep. So those are just, and it has them just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And there's 4 mythology cards over here. So I'm assuming you get the character when you get the card.
Cool.
Player setup.
Okay.
Are we? Nope. 7. There we go. So player setup. Each player get the following components. So we have a bunch of bags that we're not going to use because we have minis of everything. All right. So you're going to get a player board. Check.
Got it.
A starting city tile, which is your hexagonal.
Yep.
Check.
Got it.
12 units.
Push it. Sorry, I'm trying to get it.
Oh, for the view. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that works for me. Okay, so city tile.
12. I didn't call this area, but yeah, sure. 12 units.
12 units. So what are units?
Units are going to be the people. I'm assuming. So
Must be the ships included.
So you have ship, worker, a hoplite. I said legite. It's hoplite.
Ah, you loser.
I'm like, I know this from Civilization.
I'm a people. And then you are yellow.
Yep.
Those are starting positions.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm actually gonna put these guys in front
So,
of me.
well, hold on. I want to call them out
Yeah.
for your board.
Okay.
Because we're going to go on your board.
Oh, those are on
So,
the board. Okay.
2 of each of the 3 sets will go on your board. 2 on the ship space, 2 on the person space, and 2 on the hoplite space, or worker space there. So it's a ship, a worker, and a hoplite, which hoplite is your military unit. You will then get 6 buildings, 2 of each type of building, which is the whole bottom row.
Yep.
And those will go onto the equivalent building spaces on the bottom left of your board. And then finally, you will get 7 pillars. 7 total. 6 of the 7 will go into the spaces in the bottom corner of the game board for the pillars.
Are these my pillars of Heracles? Okay.
Additionally, you will have 14 player markers. Oh, shit, my bad. I tossed it and bounced right on off. You have 14 player markers, which are these spherical. Nope, that's not proper. That's 2-dimensional. Oh, it's 3-dimensional, but not spherical. Cylindrical. There we go. I'm like, I have a degree in math. I should know this terminology.
You said you weren't good at geometry, though.
Yeah, I absolutely hate geometry. It's the only part of math I can't stand.
Pictures.
Right. Prove that these 2 triangles are congruent. Well, they look like triangles. Okay.
Is that one cute? No, it's pretty ugly.
You will also have a siege tile. That is the big circle there. And you will have 10 starting action cards, which is your deck of action cards.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Perfect. You will select a first player. That is the bluish boat there.
We'll randomly do that when we start to play.
Yeah, so for
right now.
Yeah, for Rulebook, we'll just do that for you. Next, shuffle the city tiles. City-state tiles, which are this stack here. And randomly draw a number of tiles equal to number of players plus 1. Place them in a row with their sides corresponding to the game side. So there's an Aegean side of these tiles and a Mediterranean side. In the case any drawn city-states have regions in the same or space in the same region, keep drawing until you get different regions. All right, so 3 of these. 1, 2, 3 on the Aegean side. So we have Argos. Maybe find some things in this game. Where is Argos?
Oh, it tells you. It's part of the.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah, it tells you.
Argos is the name of the thing. Okay, yeah. So boom, right there.
Argos is the name of the city, not the land.
Yes. No, this is the name of the city. It's right there. Argos.
Arcadia is the land. Argos is the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rhodes. Cool. And
So they're all different areas.
Ayatollah. Okay, so make sure like all of these are different.
Yeah.
To start. So you take 3 of those, then shuffle the starting resource tiles and place 1 at random below each.
which is interesting. So we just take all these. Let's look at the picture for 10. Oh, that's one of the errata. So the resource tiles are placed randomly, then turned face up. Ah, so that, nice. Right.
Screwed it.
Why is there a V on some of them? That's interesting.
And that's the same as. Is there different colors on those?
So two
Maybe those are
Vs.
victory points. Because that V matches the blue. It's actually an A.
Oh, it is an A. I wonder if we take those out because of player count.
Might be.
So there's only 2 of the types have these with them. Oh no, it doesn't. Is it one of all 4? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, those are for each character.
No, okay,
Oh, weird. Okay.
but only one of them has this symbol on them. So show place them below each. Okay. It does not say right now to take these out. So let me just reread the thing for this. Starting resource tiles have these symbols. Look at that. So it's one of each.
Nice.
So 3 of the 4 starting resource tiles will go out, and it says place them below. So this will just go off to the
I
side.
assume we're gonna choose a place, and that'll be our starting resource.
So they're placed randomly. Now they're turned face up. Okay. In reverse turn order.
Oh, let's go to the.
Oh, back. Yep. So in reverse turn order, select a city state, and you get the starting resource below it.
So that'd be you first.
Place the city state in the upper right section of your player board. Remove the unused one and the unused starting resource. If a player selects Memphis as their city state, place the 4 King of Egypt action cards next to the game board. Otherwise, remove them from the game.
No Memphis.
Those would be. These are the optional Memphis only.
Nice. We don't have Memphis, so.
So one of these should be called.
I didn't realize Tennessee was in this game.
Memphis. Okay, Memphis is only on the Mediterranean side.
Cool.
Which makes sense because that's what location would be. Okay.
So then you're gonna choose one of these.
Yeah, I don't know what any of these does, but I love Rhodes. It's the Colossus of Rhodes. So then it would slide right in there, and then we give my resource.
Libya or Argos. They're right next to each other.
We'll obviously redo all of this for gameplay, but
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the one. I have no idea what it does, but I'll take it.
all right.
And then that.
So then it says remove the unused city-state tiles and starting resources, including the one drawn but not selected, from the game. Okay, so these are just out. In reverse turn order, place a hoplite from your stash, not from your player board. The remaining worker and remaining pillar, their starting tile and starting resource, face up on their starting land tile, indicated on the marker here, as well as a ship on the sea space. So I'm going to find Rhodes, which should be all the way in the bottom here, yep. So my ship is going to go on the sea space. 1 worker, 1 hoplite will both go into Rhodes. 1 pillar will go into Rhodes. My starting hexagonal and the starting resource that I achieved from buying with that.
So we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5
the
things,
resource
plus the
goes there
ship.
as well.
Yes.
Interesting.
And then the ship goes on the appropriate ship space.
Oh, on that.
The
Sorry.
port.
Got it.
Yep.
I thought we were putting an adjacent sea space. Cool.
It does say that. I don't know if it 100% says that.
Adjacent sea space, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought you read.
I read it, and then I saw the symbol and just assumed it was in port. So I read it correctly this time, but just assumed incorrectly. Each player places their player marker, which is the other one here, on the 0... Oh, nope, just kidding. These are player markers. Places a player marker on the 0 of all of the tracks. So this is going to be like Weather Machine, I think it was, style, where you're just going up, they're trying to go up the track and gain different resources here.
Yep.
So there's all the tracks we already called out earlier. Then, in turn order, move your marker to step 1 of the corresponding region and take the corresponding reward.
So based on where you're at, I assume. It's like I'm going to go to step 1 here.
Yep.
You're gonna go to step 1 here. So we have no idea what those are.
So explained right here. So track rewards. So the Olympian Titan track, which is the one you're directly in front of right now.
This one here. Up on 1.
That is the yep. So the first symbol is draw 2 cards from the Demigod Olympian Titan deck, which are that deck right there. Keep 1, place it face up in any mythology card slot above your player board.
Oh, that's what those
so you have 3 mythology card slots.
Cool.
And discard the other face down to the bottom.
Ooh.
Also, by the way, sorry. Demigod Olympian Titan.
Got it.
So you could pick.
Well, no, it
2.
it shows a specific symbol. Like this one has.
Oh, so Demigod deck. Yeah, so that one's Demigod.
Yeah.
So the other symbols would be the other decks.
Yeah, so on here you have the other one there.
There we go. It just calls out all 3 here to say these are what the decks are. Yeah. If you have no free slot, you may choose to discard any of your cards you already have to free up a slot. Alternatively, you may draw no cards and energize one of your cards for free. So that'll be something that you can do on the card.
So I just take this and put it face up.
Yep, and then discard.
So you guys can see, I got Giant and Caballeros.
I'm got the giant.
Huh?
Of course.
I'm gonna take the Giant. This says move. It says gigantic strength. Move one of your buildings up to 2 land spaces, ignoring any restrictions. So we'll go right there.
Yep, and it does say as clarification over here in the errata of the game. So if you're energizing, so let's say he already had one there, he chose a new one. He can only energize with the same card type. So if you gain this one, you can energize that card. You cannot use like a Titan to energize that because it's not
whatever the hell energized.
Sure.
Very cool.
But so it has to be the
Makes
same
sense.
card type. That's
Right,
just
and then this
the
goes to
only
the
point.
bottom of the deck.
Bottom of the deck. For my track over there, I have the civilization track.
Of course you do.
I shuffle them randomly.
Hilarious. Make sure we don't cover that port.
So on that deck, actually, if we want to zoom, we can. Actually, 4. I guess that works.
I moved mine.
It's me 1.
I moved mine.
It's me 1. So we'll call it these different things.
Right.
So down there, that is hand size. So the hands, so from 5 to 6 to 7. So right now on 0, you have a hand size of 5. Then it can go up to 6 and 7. The +1, you may additionally move your marker 1 additional or 1 fewer spaces when you advance the rondel. Cool. So I can go an additional space if I choose to on the rondel.
Nice.
-1, I could go 1 fewer, meaning I wouldn't have to move at all.
Nice.
Or actually 1 fewer, so I guess you could move multiple spots. So if I have to move 2, I could go 1 fewer. The middle track there, so that's what I'm going for, is the wild track. So as you can see there, it's the same symbol Nick has here on his track and some other stuff. The little markers on the second number there's the slash. The top marker is taking a character card of the equivalent thing, and then the number 4 is the other one.
Yep.
So that's the other side of the cards
So you
here.
choose
Match
one,
the symbol.
choose one or the other.
Yeah. But you can
Yep.
choose either of the 3 cards.
Got it.
So pretty straightforward.
No, not with my legs. Cramping. Worked out this morning.
Shed water.
I have one right here. Keep going.
Hey, Baldwin Board Saturday, huh? Welcome in. Yes, we're digging into a rulebook rundown of Pillars of Heracles. We are.
I'm dying of cramps in my legs. Oh.
We're just going through all of the pieces right now and setup. Then it'll be pretty quick once we get in this rulebook, we hope. And then we'll be doing a full playthrough right afterwards.
Yeah.
So this doesn't matter yet. Okay. So this track here, I believe is on. Yes, perfect. Is the mercenary track. By spending an extra iron, you may take one of your hoplites beside the board next to the mercenary track and place in the land spaces. Okay, so getting units onto the board.
Cool.
And then, sorry, right here, we have the military track. Each of your units, so specifically based on what step you on, contributes an extra power, whatever power is. And then right here is the last one. That is the navigation track. So it's movement. So increase movement. So you start with 2 movement. You can get 3 and 4. And then same as the wild track right there is gathering cards.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what all the tracks do. Oh, well, okay. So we gained our corresponding resources. So I gain +1 movement. It doesn't do anything yet, but it'll move on the rondel.
I got a
You got a
card.
card. Take your 3 remaining hoplites. So
Okay.
once you have your player board set up, you should have
1, 2, 3.
2 on the player board. You should have 2 additional on your, or
So
1 additional, sorry, on your
let's see
location. Yep. So 1 additional on the location on the board. So you should have 2 left over. For those, no, 3 left. 3 left over. Yep.
Mhm.
Sorry, 3 left over.
Yep.
Place them next to the mercenary track beside the game board, which is gold. So that's this track here. That's convenient. Now I need to look at pictures to see which one's which and probably do it wrong.
No, that's right. It goes in order of
Size almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Scaling. All right. Finish setup game board. Shuffle your 10 action cards for your starting deck.
Okay. And so you guys know in here we have 2 farmers, 2 sailors, 2 blacksmiths, 2 explorers, and 2 merchants.
You're going to place them face down on the left side of your player board and draw the following. The first player will draw 5 cards. The second player will draw 6 cards. 4, 5, and 6. Each player places one of their player markers on the Ascend section of the Rondel. The Ascend section is the one with the symbols up here. Leaving the remaining 7 player markers next to your player board. So, yep, we have 7 left.
Mhm.
When playing with fewer than 4 players, not all regions will be in play. They will need to be blocked. To block a region, place a Forbidden Domain card, which are those 2 right there, on the following. For a 2-player game, block 2 regions that do not contain starting cities. Do it in this order. Iona will go first.
Nope. You're good.
Okay. Macedonia. Peloponnesus.
Nope, that's
Nope.
me.
And Lydia. Okay, so those are just blocked out now. If there was a 4-player game, everything would be in play, which I kind of like that. So it looks like you always have 2 additional in play.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
So we're fighting over 1 extra land. Oh, no. Oh,
2.
good. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, 2. Sort prophecy cards by era. Using the numbers on the back, shuffle each era separately. For each region, place 1 card from each era face down. 3 on the bottom, 2, and then 1, obviously.
Makes sense to me.
Flip number 1 face up. And these will go exactly into those locations.
Where they fit.
Yep.
I assume the rest of them.
Remove unused, unseen from the game. Yep, as expected. Step.
I'm a big fan of like games starting to use like different sized cards, like these small ones and stuff. It just makes it easier to separate out what's what.
That's true. And I like how it's a clear 3, 2, 1. So you can easily separate by era.
Yep.
Separate the population tiles by type on their back. Shuffle each type, and then in each land space that does not have a starting city, place a face-down population tile of its corresponding type.
What?
So here you can see a helmet, a cornucopia, and the feather. So on the back of these tiles, you have the equivalent. So you're going to flip all those.
These all go face up, right?
Just number arrow 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to shuffle all those up, place 1 down on all the cities except yours and mine. Remove all unused from the game. Then the final step is shuffle the resource tiles, which is this whole stack here, minus the starting resource. So we have all of these. Shuffle all of these. Place 1 at random on each land space that does not have a resource tile.
So wait, how many of these are going on to their spaces? 1?
1 on every one that's not yours or mine, based on the symbol on the board.
Okay. Those guys, the helmets, we're not using yet.
To maintain balance, with fewer than 4 players, remove 1 of each of the 5 types. So we're going to take 1 of this, 1 of that, 1 of that, 1 of that, 1 of that out of the game.
So like that.
Okay, so that leaves us with a total of...
So not these areas are removed, right? Because we're not going to be going to those areas.
Most likely not.
Because they're closed off.
Yeah, they don't. So block a region, except block regions.
Cool.
Yep. They put it clearly in the rulebook. I like that.
Thank
'Cause
God.
we would have easily been like, well, what do we do?
We can't take over, but do we still put the tile
Yeah,
there? We know that we
exactly.
collect it.
Okay, so and then these again will go into all locations that aren't already have one, which are the two that Nick and I already have starting.
And you're on one, so it's not.
And look at that. Perfect count of location tiles. Or resource tiles.
So then you. So it still goes in your yellow zone, just not onto the specific spot, right?
Yeah, all the others. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. And that is the end of setup. So it seemed like a little long-winded. We just wanted to make sure we did it right, go through everything.
Characters.
Did I skip? I don't think I skipped that. No, I did. I did not. Characters have not been called out yet.
Oh.
Maybe we call that later in the book.
Maybe we don't have any yet. Maybe they're like we take control of the jobs or something.
Or maybe how many are in there? In the box? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it might correspond to some of these cards.
Maybe. Find out, I guess. We shall. It didn't say to do anything with these.
No, so it says there's other tiles for other game modes as we progress. So like the Memphis thing only was if that tile was in play. So that might be the same. Only if certain tiles are in play, then as the game progresses, it'll tell you to put them in.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Just FYI, on this page, this I already read. That was what these tracks
So we're
are.
starting in exploring landscape.
No, you're starting there, but I had to skip to there to like cover what we gained.
Okay.
So just that one piece is done.
Alrighty, everybody. We are moving on to general rules. General rules. The game objective. The objective of the game is to become the most glorious city-state of them all. You gain glory in the game by controlling cities and regions, building monuments, fulfilling prophecies. The game end triggers when players have collectively reached the end of a number of region tracks equal to the number of players. Okay, so we get
At one point,
end of 2 region tracks.
Cool.
Triggers end game.
I want one of these things to say the objective of the game is to complete the objectives.
Yeah. When a player controls 6 cities, or when 3 Era 3 prophecy cards have been removed from the game board. Okay, so there's multiple end games.
I like that.
So, just to repeat, because we kind of talked in the middle, the game end triggers when players have collectively reached the end of a number of region tracks equal to the number of players. So now collectively means like if you reach 1 and I reach 1, that means collectively we've reached
the end.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. When a player controls 6
That's like,
cities
on Mars.
Yep. Or when 3 Era 3 prophecy cards have been removed from the game board. The player with the most glory wins the game. Golden rule. Should a card or tile effect contradict the general game rules, always prioritize and adhere to the specific instructions of that card or tile. Typical.
Makes sense.
All right, so city, state, abilities. Those are the cards that we just got. Each city-state tile has a unique ability described on it. You may use the ability of your city-state tile whenever it applies during the game. So mine for Argos right now says, if you win, whatever that token means, I assume it's a battle, or siege, take one of the losing player's player markers. If you lose, give the winning player one of their player markers. Give the winning player one of their player markers, if you have any, back. Oh, finish reading. Earn 3 glory for each different player whom you have marker at the end of the game. Okay, cool. So I'm collecting your player markers.
Yeah, and then mine for roads here is gain 1 extra power, which I'm assuming is going to deal with strength in a battle, for each space being granted power by at least 1 ship.
Cool.
So makes sense because roads is very ocean heavy.
So one of this is like Game of Thrones, where having a ship in the adjacent sea adds a power to your battle.
Almost
potentially.
Probably. That makes sense, yeah.
All right. Gaining strategy tiles. That's those up there. You may gain strategy tiles during the game, typically as bonuses for emptying rows in the deploy, build, and settle sections of your player board. When you gain 1, place it on an empty row of your player board. If you do not have sufficient empty space when you would gain a strategy tile, gain nothing instead. You cannot rearrange your tiles on your player board at any time.
And it does show on the player board here the 3 different symbols for the 3 different sets.
Yep, and so those tiles will fit right into that section once you remove all those three.
Yeah.
After gaining a strategy tile, flip the tile, the next tile on the stack, if any, face up. Strategy tiles on the player board grant you ongoing abilities. And it says, see Appendix 2 for details. Forbidden
I like that
domains.
it'll tell you what they all are in the appendix.
Yeah.
Because that'd be like,
Sure.
we're like, there's so many symbols on these things.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get used to it too at some point, but thank God. So now the forbidden areas, forbidden domains. When playing with 2 or 4 players, 1 or 2 regions will be blocked during setup, which they are. These are forbidden domains, as indicated by the forbidden domain card placed in them, and with the exception of the region tracks, all of which are used in all player accounts. Those are the tracks at the top, the region tracks. They are not used during the game. Forbidden domains do not contain prophecy cards, population tiles, or resource tiles, and land spaces for forbidden domains, as well as any ports corresponding to them, cannot be moved into or interacted with in any way. Very, very clear.
Don't do anything here.
Can't do anything. Power. Power is a fundamental concept in the game, representing your influence in various parts of the game board. Each of your units, buildings, pillars, and cities contribute to a certain amount of power, as detailed below. Each of your workers, agoras, temples, pillars, and cities. So agoras, temples, and cities, I assume, are all of these 3.
Yeah.
Your pillars are obviously your pillars, and your workers are obviously your workers.
And in terms of size here, so Agora is the middle one, Temple's the left one, Pillar,
Cities.
No. And cities are the big one.
Yeah.
It looks like a city. Yeah.
So they each contribute 1 power to your total.
No. City's what's on the board. The little hexagonal. This is a temple. No, sorry, no. This is a citadel. Here we go. Citadel.
We're so dumb.
What? Oh, we have starting
We
cities.
literally have cities.
Cool. So city is what is on the game board. On your player board, you have a temple, which is the Parthenon-looking building. You have an agora, which is the middle one, and then you have a citadel.
I don't know what the little... Oh, they probably just made them all the same and just changed the color. So it seems like when you get one of these, when like you take over that city, it'll be there.
Yeah.
Got it. It's like these we can probably do. No, we'll do that when we go. To, we'll do that when we go to play.
I'll do that while you're
Fair enough.
reading. Okay.
So grab yours.
Yeah.
So because he has the miniatures expansion, he has actual cities for all like the common and stuff of that sort, which will be clearer on the board too. Take that off. Okay, so essentially all your units, cities and stuff included, give you 1 power to your land total, or to your total on the land space they occupy. Each of your ships provides 1 power to the sea space they occupy, and also to 1 adjacent land space of your choice. They cannot extend your power to adjacent sea spaces. Okay. If occupying a port, a ship instead provides 2 power to the corresponding land space. Yeah, very Games of Thronesy.
Yeah.
Each of your hoplites, which are the military units, contributes 2 power to your total on land spaces they occupy, and each of your citadels provides 3 power on the land space they occupy. So what are the citadels?
The farthest one. That's it. So then you have a temple, an agora, a citadel.
Not city.
No, city is this.
Oh, duh.
That's
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Got it. City is the thing we start with.
Yeah, so
Citadels
citadel is
are the top
strongest.
thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Your overall power in a region is the sum of the power granted by units, buildings, pillars, and cities in that region. Okay. When power is assigned to the certain land space of your choice, that choice applies during the turn in which that choice is made. In later turns, you may change that choice whenever power is counted. Each action has a power indicated in the middle of the card. Power is used primarily to advance on the rondel during your advance turn.
Right, yeah. Simple, straight in the center. It has a number.
Yep.
Very easy.
The power of the card also can be used for tactical card support during sieges and in skirmish mode. Okay? So there's a skirmish mode to this game. Control. You control a space if you have more power in the space than any other player, and your power exceeds the sum of any population tiles in that space. So these are population tiles, right?
Yes.
You control a region if you have more power in the region than any other player and your power exceeds the sum of any population tiles in that region. So any population tile still in the region must be face up in order to evaluate this. Consequently, no one controls a region if there still are any face down population tiles in it. Okay? So these have to be flipped face up for anyone to be able to control the region.
Yeah, and then you have to meet or exceed that number.
Whatever's on the other side. So this could be a 5 through 8. This could be a 3 to 5. That's always a 3. Cool. You control a city if you have your player marker on it, or if it is your starting city and no other player markers is on it.
Okay.
In case of ties for power, the tied player whose player marker has progressed furthest on the corresponding region track controls the space/region.
Easy tiebreaker.
Yep. Where more than one player markers on the same track step, markers higher in stack are considered ahead of any markers underneath them. So second to get there is going to be higher.
You're on top for all these as first player then.
Got it.
Oh, it's...
Yeah. But in case the player markers of a tied player are 0 step of the track, the tide is undecided and no one is considered to be controlling the space or region. Ooh, so if we're both on 0 here and we tied, no one gets jabbed.
I like that.
You just straight up lose. So you read progressing on the tracks already.
Yeah.
Exploring the land spaces. When any pieces are moved or otherwise placed in a land space with any face-down resources and or population tile, those spaces are explored. Reveal those tiles by flipping them face up. This typically happens during movement of land units, but can also occur as a result of certain card effects. So when you move into a space, you're exploring it, so you flip that tile up. Any tiles, did it say? When any pieces are moved or otherwise placed in a land space for any face-down resource and or population tiles.
So both, yep.
Yep. Or they are turned face up. All right, so gaining cities. So gaining our cities. Oh, we got these two here. If we gain those. Oh. Can't really stack them, I don't think. Oh, no, you can. You can. Yeah. Actually stack perfectly. Amazing. Okay. Each player starts the game with their own starting city. Boom. Further city tiles can be gained in different ways during the course of the game, as detailed below. What?
By the way, there's the symbol for
what?
These. You were asking about these card.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't say to put them on there. That's what I was asking. So, limit. There may be only one city tile in each land space. Okay.
Makes sense.
Evaluating regions. When a player first progresses to step 3 of a region track, after the track reward is awarded, so step 3, the player who has the most power in that region gains the common city tile on this step and must immediately place it in the region.
The region being one of the 3.
When a player first progresses to step 3 of a region track, so any player, after the track reward is awarded, okay, the player who has the most power in that region gains the common city tile. So it's not whoever gets there first. It's like...
Yeah, no, whoever gets there first gets the reward on top. And then whoever has the most power gets the... That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you might not want to go up the track if you know you don't have the most power.
Right. So immediately place into a region, so in a land space that does not contain a city. Then place one of their player markers on it, like we were just shown before. In the case of ties for power, the tied player whose player marker has progressed furthest on the region's track gains the tile.
Okay.
Where more than one player is on the same track step, markers higher in a stack are considered ahead of any markers underneath them. If that player is not able to place a city tile in the region, including if the region is forbidden domain, they must instead place it in a suitable space in a different region.
So that'd be like Macedonia up here, so we can still go up this track, but we can't place these in Macedonia because that's forbidden. So you have to place it elsewhere.
But how would you end up stacked in regard to this if it's the moment someone gets there, which means it has to be when one person gets there?
I think they just copied and pasted from
they must have
the thing earlier.
Player who has the most power in that region gains a common city tile. Yeah, straightforward.
I think they just copied and pasted the tiebreakers.
Yeah. And a land space is next to, okay. Then one of their player markers on, okay. In cases of ties for power. Oh, okay. I guess, so it'd just be whoever's, okay. Cases of ties for power. So like if you progressed here, but we were tied for power in that region, Then it's saying to go to the tile player whose markers progress furthest on the region track gains a tile, which would be the person who stepped there.
Yeah. I guess maybe there's something that could push us both up one at the same time.
I guess maybe.
So that would
if that player is not able to place a city in the region, they must instead place into a suitable space in a different region. If that player cannot place a city in any region, or in case of a tie for power where all tie players are on the 0 step of the region track, the common city tile on the step 3 of the track is not awarded to any player, and instead is placed on the space below the build section of the rondel.
So it just moves to over there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm guessing there's something that could push us up by without actually doing it ourselves.
Okay, cool. So we have no influence in the region whatsoever, then this would just go to build them.
Yeah.
Reaching the end of a track. When you progress to step 5 of the region track, if there's still a common city tile in there, you get it for free as a track reward. Place it in any land space that does not yet contain a city. Then place one of your player markers on it. Oh, no, you can place it in any land space. It just says in general.
No, for 3 it said specifically this one. For 5 it's anywhere, right? Is that what it said?
No, so it's the player who has the most power in the region gets it. They must immediately place it in the region where that power is.
Yeah, in the region.
In a land space does not contain a city. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that region. But if you can't put it in the region, then you can put it in any other region. This one's just saying straight up you get it, and you can place on any land space that does not yet contain a city.
Yeah, so 5 gives you a bigger benefit than 3.
Okay. Then place one of your player markers on it. In the rare case, you cannot place a common city tile if you gain step 5 of the track, set it next to your player board, and you may place it any time you can during your next turn. So it doesn't go here, it goes, you just get it straight up. Sure. Building cities. Common city tiles can also be granted through the build action. Okay. Siege, you may gain control of a city from another player via a siege. Note, the number of cities you can control is not limited. If you gain a city but do not have enough player markers available, use a suitable substitution to indicate your control. Okay.
Cool. Oh, so like if you beat me in battle and took all mine, I didn't have one.
Right.
We have the other colors we can use if we need to.
Yeah. So then we'll do spending resources. There are 5 resources in the game: wine, marble, gold, iron, wood. So wine's purple, marble is the building, gold is gold, iron is the gray one, and wood is the wood we went over before. Whenever you need to spend resources, discard an action card showing the corresponding resource from your hand and or deplete a matching resource tile in the same space as one of your pillars, like we have in the beginning here. So I have wine here. Over there, it's iron. Okay. Same space of pillar.
And those are pretty clear on these cards too, which is nice.
Yep. There's a pillar by moving your pillar onto it, provided that there is no pillar already there. Oh, so when you're using it, you're literally putting your pillar on it. I'm using this.
To exhaust it. Okay.
Yeah. This is one of your pillars. One of your pillars. Okay. Provided there is no pillar already there. Okay. A resource indicated on an action card played at the start of the advanced turn cannot be used. A resource indicated on an action card played at the start of an advanced turn. Okay, so if you use it for different purposes, you can't reuse the card for a resource. Makes sense.
Yeah.
A card showing 2 resources may be discarded in order to spend one or both of its resource. You may use each at different times during the same turn, but cannot spend one and save the other for a future turn.
Sure.
Trading. To acquire specific resources, you can exchange a resource you possess in a 2-to-1 ratio. That is 2 of the same resource for one of another type.
So 2 for a wild, pretty much.
So like if I needed wood, but I had 2 wine, I could cash in my 2 wine to take a wood.
Yeah, 2 of 1 for a wild, pretty much.
Yep. Resources acquired from trading must be spent immediately. You cannot use a resource you gain from trading in a subsequent trade. So use it at that moment. Resource tile. Each resource tile can be occupied by 1 pillar at a time. So that's these here.
Yeah, so as soon as you put a pillar on it, it's been used, it's done. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did you want to start the gameplay overview?
Sure.
And go back and forth. You can do this whole page, and then I'll do the next one.
Spell support. Is there actually a nice appendix here? Oh, specialty gameplay.
The Siege of Destiny. So it looks like there's a bunch of different modes.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna see here. So this book only goes to page 12. We're already on page 8.
Nice.
Or page 13 here.
Like the main game.
Yeah, then we have just a bunch of appendixes, a bunch of other stuff.
A bunch of different variants and stuff. Cool.
I really want to know the Siege of Destiny, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. So page 8 was also on here. There was a wording. Second.
There was a wording.
All right. There we go. We'll get to that whenever we see that written down. Gameplay overview. So starting with the player holding that first player marker.
Me.
Players will take turns clockwise.
The game continues until the end of the game.
Yeah, no shit.
That's hilarious. So on your turn, you perform a status check. And I'm just going to have this next to me because I believe it goes right through. Yes, it does. So
Nice.
step 1, it says status check.
Okay.
Then you go to advanced turn, which is letter A, or to replenish turn, which is letter B.
Okay.
So it's all nice and straightforward.
I assume advance
Sure.
means advance in the rondel, replenish means replenish your hand. Oh, yeah, this is replenish your hand. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Additionally, you can perform free actions. Those are also listed on this nice player aid,
Nice.
which involves a bunch of different things, which we'll cover throughout the sections. Status check. So this is where you'll assess your progress towards different objectives and claim the rewards you've earned. At the beginning of your turn, if your siege tile, the big circle, is
Yep.
on the game board, resolve the siege. So in order to siege, you may boost the power of your siege with a tactical card support. And then I'll go over this, which says, starting with the player initiating the siege, each player may place one card from their hand face down for each hoplite and each citadel in the space. Reveal all cards, add the corresponding power. The cards will then be discarded after use. After resolving the siege, if the losing player used any cards, they redraw the same number of cards into their hand. It looks like the winning player does not redraw.
Mm-hmm.
Fail forward method to get cards back if you lost. If after all tactical card support, you control the space containing your siege tile, and it also contains a pillar belonging to you, a city that is controlled, and or a city controlled by another player, you win the siege. And so tactical card support happens first,
Right.
and then we'll compare the numbers.
Yeah.
After that happens, if you control the space that contains the siege tile, and it also has a pillar belonging to and or a city that is controlled by another player. So if there's another player in that location, you may either remove the player's pillar or remove the player's marker from the city and place your own there.
I guess you're taking over the
So
city.
you're taking over the city. Okay, that makes sense. It's just written weirdly.
So you can't do both. So you can't take the city
And
and,
the
remove
pillar.
the pillar.
Correct. You
You
do
have
one or the
to
other.
remove the pillar or take over the city.
Correct. And the pillar is just removing the pillar. The city is placing your marker into the city.
So essentially, if you win the siege, you just choose to remove something.
Yeah.
You're not putting your own pillar there.
In any case, after everything, remove the siege token from the board. Additional status check. If, and this looks like if you lost, if you're not sieging, so for anything if you're not sieging, domination, for each region, if you control a land space where another player has a pillar, a building, or a city, you progress on the track. So if you
control this land space,
yeah,
then
and you're there, I move up
yeah.
the track.
So if I have anything, any kind of city, pillar, or
Building.
any kind of building.
Yeah.
So essentially any kind of building. So anything other than units in that space.
Yeah.
If you control the space, then you go up on the track.
Yes.
Interesting.
Finally, consolidation. For each land space, if you control 3 land spaces with the same icon, which being the icons here, the hoplite, the cornucopia, or the feather. Nope, that is like a bird. You may progress one step on one of the 2 tracks with the corresponding logo.
Okay. Yeah, because there's 2 for each.
Yes.
Okay.
You pick one or the other. You may progress at most once on each track. So if you own 6 of the same symbol,
yeah,
you can only go up 1 space still.
Yeah. Because you would have gone up 1 for the first set of 3, and then you would go up the next one for the next set of 3.
No, you.
Once you.
Oh yeah, because you can do once on each track.
Yeah.
But once you've gone up once, let's say if you order 9, you can't go 2 and 1. It's 1 and 1, and you're done. All right, so that's the status check. So that'll happen at the beginning of every turn, or every round, era, however you want to call it. Then we go into advanced turn, letter A. So advanced turn starts by playing an action card from your hand. So that's our deck of cards here. Advance your player marker on the rondel exactly as many spaces as the power of that card that you played from your hand. Any other players already having markers in the space you move to may each immediately draw one action card from their draw pile. So if you move onto my space, because this is going to go, looks like in player order.
So you move on to my space.
Well, I guess in that case, yeah. What if I was somewhere else?
Right. So if I played the 1, I'd go forward the 1.
Yep.
Do yada yada. On your turn, if you move forward 1 to the same space, I would get to draw a card from my hand.
Yes.
Or from my deck. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. I knew what you meant. Then you may optionally do the following. Use the ability of the card you played for the advancement, if there is an ability. Your player marker you may use as movement if it is on procure, deploy, build, or settle. Detailed on page 9. So procure a monument is the blue, right there. Deploy, yep. Build, yep.
Settle.
And settle, yep. The only other one it looks
Ascend.
like is
Ascend.
that one, yes. So if you had any of those 4, you may move your units. So detail over here exactly how much you can move. And then perform the action of the section of the rondo where your marker is now at.
Okay.
Free actions. You may perform a free action at any point. So free action number 1 is invoke mythology. You may invoke at most 1 mythology card during another player's turn, and only before, between, or after their main action. So you can't do it in the middle of their action. If multiple players wish to invoke mythology cards at the same time, active player goes first, and then goes clockwise. So invoking a mythology card, energized is as is, then you rotate it sideways to be invoked. You use its ability, is literally what it means. Unless otherwise specified, you can use it at any time, even on another player's turn. And so that makes sense. So once you've invoked it, it stays invoked until you do the energized to turn it back.
It says you invoke is use.
Yeah. So unlike other games where it goes exhausted and then refreshed,
It stays exhausted.
it stays exhausted until you do the
I'll
energized.
probably just flip it over. Especially because if you get like 3 of them, it's going to be a pain to stack them on top of each other.
So that is one of your free actions that you can do at any point, is just use it. Additionally, you may place a siege tile. If it's not already on the game board, take your siege tile, place it in a space you control that contains at least 1 land unit and a pillar, so one of your land units, and a pillar or city that's someone else's. So you're trying to siege. So you've entered their territory, they own it, you're trying to siege.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
And then fulfill a prophecy. To fulfill a prophecy, you must have accomplished the quest indicated on it within its region. Take the prophecy card and store it face up below your player card. Immediately flip the next prophecy card in that region. And it does say here, there's an errata, you can only do 1 per turn as well. And just says, you may fulfill 1 per turn at the end of your turn as a free action. So
like I assume this means get 2 ships into ports in this region.
That will be in the appendix, it says.
This I have no idea. That I have no idea. This I have no idea.
Yeah.
2 workers. Got that.
So those are your free actions. So you can do those as your turn progresses in any order you want, except fulfill prophecy would be at the end of your turn as your final thing.
Because it's based on what you did in your turn.
Yes. Your other option, instead of going through all of that advanced turn things, is to replenish your turn. So replenishing your turn is discard any cards from your hand, draw back to your replenish size. The bottom right corner of the board there tells you your hand size. Whenever you need to draw action cards, if you're depleted, obviously shuffle your deck and perform a new deck and continue drawing. Remove all your pillars from resource tiles is in the replenish step.
So like if this was on here because I used it, I would take it off so I can use it again.
And during replenish, you may energize any invoked mythology cards by spending wine indicated on them. So as you can see there's a little wine symbol.
Yep, little wine there. Some of them take 2.
And it looks like this is done in order. So therefore, if you have that used with the pillar on top, you replenish it, and then you can use the wine to energize.
Yep, that works out. And I just happened to get the wine
As he
start
didn't
there,
know any
and
of it.
I just happened to get this to get that. So that
Yeah.
worked amazing. Too bad we're going to reset this when we go to play the game.
Yeah. Movement. Okay, so again, quick overview. Advanced turn, you use an ability card to move on this Rondel.
Yep.
You're going to move, which I'm going to explain right now. You're going to do an action on that Rondel, which I'll explain in a moment.
Mhm.
And then during all of that, you can also do the free actions. So the mythology card, as well as placing your siege tile.
And that's where this makes sense for you, the +1 or -1, because if you play a 2 card on here for the sailor, right? So that's, you don't want to use any other one because the abilities. You say, okay, I'm going to use the 2,
Yeah.
but I really only want to move 1. If you're on this spot that has -1 movement, then you can just move just the 1 space.
And I would assume, and this hopefully will clarify, that if I'm on the -1, I've already achieved the +1. I get both.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, hopefully we'll find out. My thought would be it's an advancement track, so you earn, because like the 6, once I pass the 6, I still have a 6 hand size, I'm assuming. It doesn't go back to 5.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you earn, like these you would earn only once, because...
Well, it shows instant. That's probably the indicator. Is this literally has like a little instant symbol? So
a
the moment you get
lightning
there,
bolt,
you
yeah.
immediately get
So I'm
it.
assuming
So
all
those
of that
are
you gain,
stacked.
yes.
Because you're 2,
And you gain the
+1,
plus
and you
power,
keep
yes,
it.
okay. So both of these, you would always have that ability. So if you get the +1, -1, you can go, if you play a 2, you can go 1, 2, or 3.
I wonder how you go up on those tracks if you can't do anything in those regions. Interesting.
We'll find out. So movement. So before you actually do the Rondel's actual action, you can do movement. Excuse me.
You're excused.
You could also do movement after the Rondel action.
Okay.
Perform as many movements according to your position on the navigation track.
So you can do movement
The
before you do the
navigation-
action or after.
Correct. The navigation track is the cornucopia brown, right there.
Cornucopia Brown sounds like some little kid's detective book. Cornucopia Brown.
To perform a movement, move one of your units to an adjacent space or to an adjacent port.
Okay.
Here are the rules. Ships may only move in the sea or to ports.
Correct.
Launch it right on the land.
And then so that's why they indicated for this area here that these are all land spaces. Even though it shows water, you cannot go through here to get to there. You'd have to go all the way around.
Yeah.
What is this?
I
guess you could go through here though. This is blue, but there's no.
Oh, interesting.
So that must be.
So that blue is by itself.
Yeah.
The numbers 1 through 9 are interesting as well.
Fortunate Isles. I mean, it must be for one of the other modes, the 1 through 9, I assume. But anyway.
On the Mediterranean side, the Black Sea and Fortunate Isles are adjacent for the purposes of movement.
Hilarious every time.
Well, because over here,
Yeah.
there's on the other side of the board, there's a Black Sea and there's like a little space.
Yeah. Well,
in
here's
between.
Fortunate Isles. We were just talking about.
No, you're not playing both sides at the same time. There's a Fortunate Isles on the other side of the board.
Oh, I thought you were saying, but this is adjacent for movement, like say moving through.
No, black. No, yeah, the other side.
Got it.
So I think there's like a land piece in between, so it looks like it's stuck, but it's actually adjacent. Land units may move between adjacent land units and or sea spaces containing ships. So obviously you can load the ship, pretty much.
So they create like a bridge. I could go from. I can get over here by land by going.
Provided you end back on land. Here's the next one.
So this must be considered a land space, just it's used only on the other side of the board then.
No, it's also on the other side of the board.
Yeah, but there's nothing in this land space on this side, so it's just here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So 0 movement costs to move a land unit to an adjacent sea space containing a ship. 1 movement to move a land unit to an adjacent land space.
Is that 2 to go to a ship?
No, 0.
Sorry.
So 0.
Okay.
So from land to a ship is 0.
Got it.
1 to go from land to land or from ship to land.
Got it.
Your land unit may use ships as a stepping stone. Yeah. So if you're there, perfect example,
0,
you can
1.
go 0 and then 1.
Got it.
Land connected by bridges. So there's actual bridges on the board.
other right here.
The other side. Right there, perfect.
And right here as well.
Yeah. Those are considered adjacent.
Makes sense.
So you don't have to go in the water or worry about that. Moving a ship from a sea space to an adjacent port requires 1 movement.
Okay,
So for
makes
you to
sense.
go to that port, 1 movement.
Each port can only be occupied by one ship at a time. Also makes sense. There's one piece only, or one space. You may move the same unit multiple times. So if you have, as long as you have the movement available.
Mm-hmm.
When you move a land unit into a land space, you explore it, you flip the tiles.
Okay.
So all pretty straightforward for movement. Just count your movement spaces, flip the tiles if you land there. Pretty easy.
Yep.
The Rondel Actions. So, the Procure action allows you to gain new, more powerful action cards from the procurement area. When you perform this action, and that is, we're going to start right there. When you perform this action, you take one or more face-up cards from the procurement area by spending the resources depicting on the cards that are being procured.
Much like how we messed up. What was it? Goddamn, not the precursor to Andromeda's Edge.
To Andromeda.
We don't have it anymore, but the one we messed up beforehand.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Elder Vale.
Yeah.
Elder Vale, where we weren't paying the cost.
Yeah, now we're just like, hey, we get all these cards. This is great.
Yeah.
So when a card has a slash, you choose the resource.
Perfect.
So right there, perfect example.
Slash means or. It's universal.
Yes. So during this exile, which is this, you may optionally exile a card from your hand or discard by removing it from the game. So that's one option. The top 3 slots of the procurement area contain monument cards. To acquire a monument, you must spend 1 wood or 1 marble, which is right there, to get that.
Okay, so for these, you don't spend what's on the card.
No,
you spend a wood or marble to get a monument card. On these, you have to spend what's on the card to get them. No, face value plus. In addition, you have to spend a wood or marble. So this plus a wood or marble.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for those, you exile a card and then spend the resource.
So for that one... Oh, you also exile a card? Wait, it doesn't say that one here.
That's how I'm reading it.
It says you may. So for each... For each character card procedure, you spend resources to take cards from the procurement area. For each of the character card procedure, may exile a card from hand or discard pile. So
but then it says right underneath, pay face value.
So to get a character card, you pay the face value. So this means you can exile a card from your hand or discard pile. It means like you can remove it because it's deck building. It's not from these.
Oh, okay. So separately, that's an option.
So for typical deck building, so the way to get rid of the lesser cards, like the one sailor, if you have a bunch of good cards in there that you want to...
That's because it gives an example. No, so the example is what I was saying.
Okay, that's what I was
so example, if you wanted to procure a character card, in this case it says the Oracle, which is one of those cards.
Yep.
The player discards the merchant card from their hand to spend gold resource. So it costs 1 gold. So, perfect,
yep.
right there.
Yep, makes sense.
And then exiles the same merchant card. To procure the theater card, which is a monument card, the green player spends the iron, depicted as the resource, trades 2 wood for a wine, and then spends another marble from their hand to pay the marble fee. So this card, you needed both. So you need 2 resources. You needed a iron and a wine. So you had to trade 2 wood for the wine. He had the iron, and then spend the marble because the marble is the requirement based on that marker there. Then you take both cards to your hand and reveal the 2 new cards.
Yeah, but they don't have to exile a card. They just chose to in there.
Okay.
It's what it says here. It says you may exile a card.
Which makes sense for deck building.
So they were saying is they bought the Oracle, and because the Oracle's better, they chose to exile the weaker card. Because now they have the Oracle.
Because now it gets it back to your hand faster.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing, deploy.
Deploy!
The deploy action allows you to place units on the game board. To perform this, place 1 or more units from your player board, or 1 or more units, onto the game board by spending resources on the player board.
So these not here.
So you can see all of the resource costs under all of those tokens, or all the minis. You may deploy a hoplite to a space as long as you have a city or a citadel there. You may deploy a worker if you have a city or an angora. You may deploy a ship to a sea space adjacent to a city or a space with a city or a temple, or to a port corresponding to that city or temple. So if you have a city anywhere, you're good. If you have your other buildings, each one associates. And it looks like it's a direct line. Yes, it is. It's a direct line. So if you have the appropriate unit above, so Temple has a ship, Angora has a person, Citadel has a hoplite.
Okay, so you have to have a Citadel to be able to deploy a hoplite?
A Citadel out there to deploy a hoplite out there.
Interesting, okay.
Just for the deploy action. Strategy tile bonus. Whenever you empty a row, take one of the face-up tiles over here, place it in.
Yeah, so like if you emptied one of these rows, provided it's the correct one, you would put it right there like that.
Yep. And then flip the next one in the stack. Build.
Wait a second, how do we know what's what?
Appendix.
Oh, did you organize it now? There it is.
Oh, yeah. It just moved because I'm Steve.
Yeah. Build.
Build. Construct one or more buildings and or cities. To build a building, take one building from your player board and place it on the game board. You may build each building on a land space. Excuse me. A land space where you have at least one worker, provided you don't have another building in that land space. And there's no other building of the same type in that land space. So if you already have a citadel somewhere, I can't also build a citadel there. If you do not have any buildings of any type on your player board, you may instead move one of your buildings from the game board to the new location by spending the resources below the building type on your player board.
Oh, and you can't even put, like, if you have a temple, you can't build a citadel in the same spot you have a temple either.
And then the resources down here says if you want to move.
Yeah, that's why I took the giant. So my giant allows me to move one of my buildings up to 2 land spaces, ignoring any restrictions.
Nice. You do not, clearly note, you do not need to control a land space to build a building or a city, or have a city in the space to build a building there. So if it's just an empty space, you can build. You just need to have a worker there.
Cool.
Special abilities of buildings. Citadel provide 3 power. You covered that earlier. Allows you to deploy hoplites. Angora provides a resource discount of 1 resource. You may deploy workers there. A temple allows you to have 1 or more mythology cards. You can see that at the top of your game board or player board. That's how you unlock those other spaces for mythology cards.
Yep. So you can see the temple icon.
Yep. Plus 1 additional card per temple you have built. So you may have plus 1 additional card for a maximum of 3 mythology cards. I just repeated the same thing. Oh, by default you have 1 to gain the others. Yeah.
You have to have. So you have to put out your 2 temples.
Yeah.
To be able to have 3 total.
You may deploy your ships based on the temples. And again, it says whenever you empty a row, you can then go to that corresponding one in that section for buildings.
Oh, so you can only. So I can't deploy the ship till I have. Like, so if I have this temple out, I can deploy 1 ship, but I can't deploy the other one until I have the other temple out as well.
It doesn't say that. It just says you have to have a temple. But like,
just the temple has to be in the space.
You'd have to move that ship though. So like, if you deploy the temple to the ship, you'd have to move that ship first to have an open spot to put the new ship.
Gotcha.
Build a city. So that was all building the 3 buildings.
Yep.
Building cities, which are obviously right here and all of the other pieces. You may spend 1 wine, 1 marble, 1 gold, and 1 iron, which is in the bottom corner there, right next to the city, next to Nick.
Yep.
To build a city by taking an available common city next to the build section. So that is only for those cities, not for all of these, unless these move over there.
Yep.
You can place it on a land space containing a worker and no other city. As soon as you build that city, place a player marker inside to say you control it.
Cool.
Settle. This allows you to remove population tiles and place pillars on the game board. When you perform this action, you may settle 1 or more land spaces you control. When you settle a space, you must remove any population tiles, so obviously those are all these, from the space. For each tile removed, take the reward on the front side of the tile. If it shows a wild resource icon, place it next to your player board. All other tiles, it's an instant grab and then the tile's removed.
Okay.
Immediately after you settle, if there's no pillar there, place a pillar there. If you do not have available pillars, move one of your pillars elsewhere onto that space. Finally, same thing. This is the third grouping over here of strategy tiles. As soon as you clear a row, place it out.
So, because we haven't gotten to land battles yet. So when you come into an area, though, when you explore it, everything immediately flips over. So this is going to be flipped over to begin with. But then you have to do the actual settle action.
Yeah,
if we
so
control the
it
space.
says here, that was a line here in the example too. To settle, you must have more power than any other player. And exceed as well. Exceed, not even exceed or equal, exceed the number on that tile.
So are you playing cards from your hand in that moment to be able to do settle, or just you have to have that many?
That's just
that many
I think
units
straight
there.
Power.
Well, because when you do some sort of like siege, you play these for power.
Yeah, I think that's just
as well.
for sieging.
Okay.
Unless you have an ability that tells you. It's like I have an ability over here that says I gain extra power for being in a space, but not just for sieging, just in general.
Got it.
So you kind of have to place your people accordingly and your cities accordingly to do so. But like it said there, you can build here as long as you have a worker there. It doesn't matter if there's
right
there.
You'd have to just like, if this is a 5, essentially if I got like a citadel put down here,
that gives
and
you
if
3
I
right
had
there.
if I had 2 units in there, that would put me at 5, and the ships next to it puts me at 6.
Exactly.
If it's the 5, so you have to have more than, not equal.
Exactly. Yeah. Exceed.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just as exceeds, not exceed or equal.
Damn, 5 to 8, pain in the ass.
All right. Ow. Final piece. Rondel. Moving on.
Ascend.
Ascend. Ascend allows you to progress the region tracks by spending resources and potentially gaining powerful upgrades, including cities, mythology cards, action cards, as well as passive abilities. In order to progress to the next step, spend the type of resource indicated on the track.
What was that? Sorry,
And-
missed that.
I'm trying to see where the resource. Oh, the resource list right here. So spend this resource to move up that track.
Oh, that's how you move.
That's
the track.
exactly how. Yep. So you have to be on that space.
Ascend. Yep.
So to progress to the next space, spend the type of resource, and as many resources as the number is here. So 1 resource, 2 resources, 3, and so on.
Okay.
Or you may exile 3 character cards from your hand to move 1 space.
This is where like comboing could come in. If
Yes,
you
it
get a
could.
resource.
In the case of the Titan track, I believe is the gray one in front of me. That's the military track. Oh, Olympian Titan track, yes, is the one in front of you.
Right? Yeah.
Oh no, which one's which? Hold on.
This one has the type.
Titan's Wild. So that's Olympians in front of you. Middle one is Titan.
Okay.
In case of the Titan track, so specifically that one because the Wild, you may spend any type of resource, which it shows in the picture.
Yeah. Okay.
But it must all be of the same type to ascend. So
Okay.
if you're trying to go to 2, you have to spend 2 of the same resource.
Got it.
You may progress on multiple tracks and multiple steps on that track if you have the resources. So that's good.
Mhm.
And also, kind of your point, comboing. So like if you move here and gain a card, and that gives you your 3rd card, you can then spend those 3 cards to move somewhere else on another track. Because you can exile 3 cards as one of, instead of spending the resource.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed that.
Does that say it on here too?
Yeah. Exile 3 cards from your hand.
Yeah. So either or. So exile the resource equivalent to the space you're moving to, or a flat 3 cards.
Cool.
After you have finished, gain the track rewards of any steps you progress through. If you progress more than 1 step, gain all rewards. After the Ascend Rondel action, either replenish your hand or replenish pillars and optionally energize any number of invoked mythology cards.
Okay, so either draw back up or.
So you do either or.
Yep. Alright, so replenish also includes discarded cards. Like beforehand, replenish your hand.
That you get to choose though, right? Did I read that wrong before?
So you can choose it. You can either advance or you can do a replenish turn.
So on your turn, you must perform a status check. Then you can advance or do a replenish turn.
Yeah.
This is separate
if
than
you-
replenish turn.
Yeah, but if you do a replenish turn, you get to do all 3. This
Yeah.
one's saying when doing
Yeah,
this,
so
you
this
can
is also
also
like-
choose to either replenish your hand, or you can choose
Yeah.
to do the
This is like
replenish pillars and energize.
what game do we just play in space? The where you build the ship. Space Cruise, Galactic Cruise.
Yeah.
Where if I get kicked back, you get to do that free action once, or you get to choose and do all of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's that exact same thing. So now
Apparently, we played that wrong.
what? Oh, we did definitely.
Oh, we did.
So you get looks like all the appendixes and all the optional game modes. I didn't realize that was.
That's fine.
I thought there was like other stuff. So
We're not
I
gonna-
read through all the steps. I'm
We're
like,
not
oh,
gonna
wait, there-
we're not gonna read through the appendix. I mean,
That's true.
that's just a reference.
There we got endgame still.
So endgame there. All right.
Wait, page one. Page 12. What page are we on?
We're 13 now. Page 12.
So page 12. One of the other riders in the example. Oh, the example. We don't cover the example.
Cool.
We're good. Hold on. Sorry. Before we do that. So
You're good.
player aid, errata. Building requirements should be as in the rule book. You need to have a worker there to build a building. Yep, we already do that. We just read that.
Mhm.
The Polis expansion strategy tile, which is one of these,
Mhm.
there gives you track advancement for free.
Okay.
Which is nice, cool. That's a card that just allows you to move up the track. And then there's special text if a certain mythology card is out there.
Okay.
Which we'll just read to. It just says there should be the word evoke in front of it. Frequently asked questions. Can there be two cities or two pillars in the same space? No. Unless a very specific card tells you otherwise. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Rule of thumb: you can't build the same. It's like for any of your buildings, you can't build the same type in a space that anyone else has that same type already.
and you can't build a second one either.
Right. And you
For
also
power
can't
boost.
you also can't put a temple in a space that you have a citadel or an agora, like because you already have those buildings
Yeah.
there.
But you can build a city with it. So you
Yep.
can build a city plus one. You cannot build two of it, which makes sense.
Mhm.
But also pretty good job with the like errata wasn't massive. It was a few minor wording things. So
Yeah.
evidently so far this rulebook's pretty inclusive.
Pretty good. All right, so game end. The game end is triggered when a player at any time during their turn controls 6 cities. So dwellings of Eldervale, get 6 out there, starts end game.
Including your one, I'm assuming. Your
Yeah,
starting
'cause you
one.
control
So
it.
1 plus 5. So 5 others.
This is mine.
You can't do that though. I guess you could because we would use a different color. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
But
fine.
we already know it's ours.
When players have collectively reached the end of a number of region tracks equal to the number of players, so that's going to be 2 for us.
Yep.
Okay.
So end of 2 tracks.
When 3 Era 3 prophecy cards have been removed from the game board, so whether fulfilled or otherwise. So if we get down to, say we got rid of all 3 of these stacks, game end.
It says just 3 stacks.
3 Era 3 prophecy cards,
Okay.
which
so
you
we
have to be a
4.
full stack.
Oh, no, we have 4 stacks. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, just
So
3.
3 of the 4 stacks. Okay.
Yep. Once the game end has been triggered, finish the current round, and then play 1 more final round,
Sure.
so that each player has had an equal number of
Yep, I
turns.
like that.
Okay. So, for example, if the player with the first player marker triggered the end of the game in this way, all their players have 1 more turn to finish and complete their current round, and then all players, including the first player, have 1 final turn. Okay, the player accumulating the most glory emerges victorious. To determine the winner, tally up the glory you've earned throughout the game from fulfilled prophecy cards and monument cards. So you have 1 glory for the bottom of the pillar, 2 for 2/3, and then 3 for the whole pillar. When award glory, then award glory based on their control at the end of the game. Each 3 glory for each city you control. Each 3 glory for each region you control. Regions are evaluated starting with the top left one and going in clockwise order. So, before determining control over a region, starting with the player with the first player marker and continuing in clockwise order, each player may take one of their ships from an adjacent sea space and place it in one of the region's land spaces to indicate to which land space that ship is contributing 1 power. Ships and ports are unaffected and remain where they are, contributing 2 power to the corresponding land space as normal. Okay. Reminder, when players are tied for power within a region, the tied player whose marker has progressed furthest on the round track controls that region. If players are tied for the highest total glory The player who has progressed the most across all region tracks combined is declared the winner. If there's still a tie, the tie players rejoice in their shared victory.
No.
So at the end of the game,
Play another turn.
So at the end of the game, you're going to be like, you're going to literally go through each region and see who has the most. So not land spaces, but each region, see who has the most power and control.
Territorial. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so in that moment, what it was saying is, so if I had a ship in my port, that one's still going to contribute to power. But if I had another one in adjacent sea space, I could put you into a land space to give me that additional.
Yeah. So it's like a final reconsolidation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then they have the appendix, which you can read as needed for all of this stuff. Appendix 3, Lexicon 4. There's different gameplay modes. So standard mode, this is the basic rule set for multiplayer game. It's described in pages 6 through 13, which is just red, which is standard. There's a tutorial game. This is the same as a standard game, except the end of the game is triggered when the player controls 4 cities. No. There's a short game. This is the same as a standard game, except the end of the game is triggered when 2 Era 3 prophecy cards have been removed, or when the player controls 5 cities. No, Barbarian hordes. Here they are. That's these guys.
Is this an optional or a?
It's a
game mode.
Game mode. Let's see.
All right.
So setup: shuffle the barbarian tiles and place them in a face-down stack in the designated spot above the rondel. Will be those. Advanced turn. When the player with the first player marker advances on the rondel and crosses the designated line between ascend and procure, which is right here.
Yep.
The barbarians activate. Skip this step during the first turn. Okay, makes sense. Perform the following steps immediately before the player with the first player marker performs any of their optional actions on this turn. So the moment after the first turn, so second turn, it would start. The first player crosses, the barbarian thing would happen here. So, 1, any player whose power in a land space is lower than the sum of the barbarian tiles power, including barbarian ships and port, must remove one of their pieces. A building, pillar, or city, in that order of priority, except if there is only a city. From the land space, except if it is their only city. So it's not like ascendancy.
You just die instantly.
So I will always have this, and you will always have that.
Yeah.
Okay. From the land space, if they have any there, players remove buildings or pillars to a corresponding slot on their player board. Okay. If there's no corresponding slots are available, they place the removed building / pillar beside their player board initially and move it to the available removed cities are removed from the game. Okay. Move each barbarian tile 1 space toward the closest land space containing a player's building, city, or pillar. Cavalry has 2 movements. Infantry. So cavalry is the horse.
Yeah.
Moves 2. Infantry is 1 land space, which is the 5, and ships first move to a sea space, then to a port corresponding to such land space.
Yep.
If tied, move towards the closest land space with a building, pillar, or city with the least power by any player, then the least power by all players. If still tied, move towards the tied player closest to the left. So they're essentially raiding what's happening. Place a barbarian tile from the spot above the rondel face up in each space containing a face-up barbarian camp, except those in regions corresponding to a player's city-state tiles. What's a barbarian camp? What's on there? Interesting. If there are not enough barbarian...
It's the ones with the silver border. It shows right here. So the 3 that had that silver border versus the ones that had the normal border, the camps are the silver border. So if you draw that tile, then a camp comes out. You have to defeat the camp.
Place a barbarian tile from the spot of the rondel and each face containing a face-up barbarian camp, except those regions corresponding to a player's city-state tiles. If there's not enough barbarian tiles to place
actually, those were these, wasn't it?
Space, I don't know.
It might be one of these as the barbarian camp.
If there are not enough barbarian tiles to place in each space, place as many as possible in order for the numbers on the face-up prophecy cards in the region. What? Not enough barbarian tiles.
Oh, here we go. They're right there.
Okay.
So these would be out there. We're not playing with that version, but these would be out there.
Oh, they might be out there.
No, they're right there. There's all 3 of them right there. There's only 1 of each.
No, there was multiple of these.
No, none of the barbarian camps.
Yeah. There's multiple of these 5s. There's multiple of these 4s.
Oh, I thought. Okay, they might be out there.
So they're out there, but that's what they're saying. Okay, those are barbarian camps then. You're just not going to get anything from them.
So for defeating a barbarian, for defeating a barbarian camp, progress on the corresponding region track.
Yeah, so they're out there regardless. Just this adds more to that whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, so if there are not enough barbarian tiles to place in each such space. So again, this is placing a barbarian tile from the spot of the rondel face up in each space containing a face of barbarian camp. Okay. If there's not enough to place in such space, place as many as possible in the order of numbers on the face up prophecy cards in the region, from lowest to highest. And numbers and prophecy cards. Oh, okay. So they have little numbers in the bottom corner. Okay. From those to highest, and then to the regions without prophecy cards in a random order. Settle action. When performing a settle action, treat any barbarian tiles like population tiles. As the reward for removing a barbarian tile through a settle action, draw 2 action cards. Return any removed barbarian tiles to the spot above the rondel. Okay, so so these are always going to be barbarians. If there was a barbarian here with that settlement camp, so they contribute to the overall population. If you defeat them, you get the bonus for whatever that barbarian camp would be. In addition, you get to draw 2 action cards as well. Okay. Return any removed barbarian tiles to the spot above the rondel. Okay. There's Samakia, which is a 4-player team game.
Nope.
There's Atlantis. So Atlantis is a special city that only exists in the sea. When playing with Atlantis, its space is considered to be both a sea space and a land space. You may take control of Atlantis by settling its space with at least 10 power. Atlantis is also considered a wild resource tile that you can deplete if you have pillars in its space.
Is that only on the Mediterranean side?
Must be.
Mm-hmm.
I had it set up here. Place the Atlantis tile in the Fortune Isles, sea space of the game board. So if you're playing with Atlantis. Whatever the Atlantis tile is.
I didn't take Atlantis out, so I guess it just never...
Is this Atlantis?
No, that
Yeah,
corresponds.
this is Atlantis. It says 10.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so that would be Atlantis.
So just an extra spot down there.
Sunken area. Yeah.
We can throw that in, right?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah.
So set up. So place the Atlantis tile on the Fortune Isles down here. Space of the game board. So when playing with 2 players in the Mediterranean side of the game board, instead place the Atlantis tile on the sea space directly to the east of Fortune Isles.
Yeah, that's the other side, though.
Yep, we're good. Settle action. When performing the settle action, you may settle the space containing Atlantis tile if you control that space and your power is at least 10. Or at least 10. So maybe these all have to be at least the number.
No, I said it's very specific. Exceeds.
It did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you do so, place one of your player markers on the Atlantis tile, replacing the one that was on it, if any. You may also place a pillar there as normal. Okay? So, boom. So you can place a pillar there, and your little action marker. Can't put a city there, though. You may settle the space containing Atlantis. You control space.
Oh, yeah, because you settle. That's because you're settling. You're not building.
Yeah, if
So
you control that space.
Yeah.
And your power is at least 10. So, yeah, anytime you settle, you control the space. Don't you?
Yes. No, settle is just putting a pillar down. Building is the rest of the buildings.
Yeah, but settling, you need to control the space. So land spaces
you control. Okay.
Yeah, so you need to have more whatever there.
Power.
What is well,
Right. Well, that's part of it.
remove population and your power is at least 10. So no, control and power must be different. If you control, what is control considered then? Control. Have more power in the region / space than any other player, and more than so many. Okay, so this is a population tile. That's the difference. So here, these are population tiles.
Yeah.
So you need to have more power than the population or any player there to be able to control it, and then you can settle it. Here specifically, that 10 is different. You just need to have more influence there to control it. So one of your units is enough power. And then you also need to have a power of 10 in total to be able to take it over.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Skirmish mode, we're not
Okay.
doing, but that's what these are for.
Okay, so we don't need these right now then.
So sieging is the only thing we'd be doing in standard mode.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a big thing for skirmish mode. Legendary heroes.
Let's do that. That's this. I'm hoping.
That's that big thing. Yep. So legendary hero. So let's. Did you want to do barbarians also, or?
No, that might be a little complicated.
Okay.
To move them around. Boop. But
Okay, so legendary heroes. In this gameplay mode, players will embark on a heroic journey with legendary and mythical figure on their side. That must be where these come into play. Unleash the power of these heroes and shape the destiny of ancient creation.
10 of those.
Amazing. So setup. During step 10 of setup, also shuffle the hero tiles and turn a number equal to the number of players plus 1 face up. During step 11, each player, starting with the player to the right of the player, the first player marker, So
step 10 was how we got this choice. Yeah. So we'll add this in when we actually start the live stream. We are live streaming. We start the actual gameplay.
Starting with the player to the right, so you're going to do it. Select one of their hero tiles and places it to the right of the player board. So hero tiles are a number equal to number of players plus 1. So same thing. Yep. Okay.
Get abilities.
Player board. Yep. Player board and places the corresponding hero unit on it, or selects a city state and or hero's unit on it, or selects a city state and starting resource tile pair as normal. Then starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player makes a selection of the type they did not choose. Okay, so you can choose
one or the
city
other.
or hero, and then the next person goes city or hero, and then the next person chooses what's left. Okay, cool. Characteristics. Each hero unit contributes a base power and has a special ability as indicated on their hero tile. Unless otherwise stated on their hero tile, a hero unit acts as a land unit for all game purposes. Unless otherwise stated on the hero tile, their power remains the same during the game. Deployment. Players may deploy their hero unit to the land space containing one of their cities by spending 2 gold. Say on there.
Yep.
Perfect. Removal. If your hero unit is removed from the game board, place it back on the hero tile. You may only remove another player's hero unit if that player has no other units in the same space.
Okay. So it's a hierarchy thing. So you got to take the units out first before the hero.
When playing with Odysseus, the following such rules apply, which if we get Odysseus, we'll read it.
Yep. So
I'm not going to worry about that now. Odysseus's challenge token challenges. Interesting. Okay. So that's where these would come into play also, because these are the heroes. We're not going to need those because we have
the minis.
Miniatures, because we're awesome. Basic strategy chips. Nope.
Yeah, I'll read that. Yeah.
The Siege of Destiny, read that.
Oh, I'll read it. Okay, sure.
Don't read the strategy tips.
No, the Siege of Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't care what strategy. I hate that. I don't follow their strategy.
She's like, what are you talking about?
No, I meant this. Special gameplay mode, the Siege of Destiny. I don't know where these come in yet still. It's hilarious. I've been waiting the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how did these come into play? So, extra components. Mark with Siege of Destiny. So there's 5 new character cards, 1 new monument card, plus the 9 markers. So first off, those cards are right here. Nice. Nope, those are not the cards. It literally says it on it. Siege of Destiny. Perfect. These. So the ones that say Siege of Destiny, that we already shuffled into this deck, because they didn't tell me not to otherwise earlier, are right here. So it says very clearly on the card. I'll zoom in. Oh, it's already... There we go. It says Siege of Destiny right here. It says there's 5 of these plus a new monument card, which is one of the blue ones. Which is literally right there. The Trojan horse. It's already ready to go. So for these cards, there is a co-op mode. This is a team alliance game. So players must split into 2 teams, with one group forming the Trojan Alliance, the other forming the Arcade. So we actually have to take these out.
Okay.
So it just says set up the game as normal, and then it says here's some of the differences. You would have to use the Aegean side of the game board. You would set up different city states differently. So it's a co-op game mode is what it adds into here. You can also play this with the legendary heroes and the skirmish game modes. And then there's a time tracker set up here to help you track your things. So not as fun as I thought it would be. That is what this is for solo.
Oh, okay.
So then all these we showed in the unboxing. I thought they were going to be worker placement. They are not. Those are all for solo mode, which is the whole back of this rulebook. And then game end for solo mode. So we've kind of covered everything. Again, I'll just re-show this as Nick's sorting those cards out. There is very good appendices in here. So for the prophecy cards, which are all of the ones that are over there, it clearly shows here what all of the symbols mean. There's also clarification on your player aid. Appendice 2 is all the strategy tiles, so it clearly says what all those mean. As in about 5 minutes or so, when we start the actual gameplay, whatever ones are face up, I'll read out loud so we all are clear on what these mean, as well as what all of those mean. There's a lexicon here that shows you what different words mean. They're all pretty straightforward. We've covered it. And then Nick read through the gameplay.
Yeah.
So
overall, it's not
really a
really
war
not that complicated.
game.
It is.
In terms of like, I'm thinking war game, I'm thinking, dice battling and everything. So there is the sieging.
There's a skirmish mode.
Oh, there's separate from the game face game mode.
Sieging,
it's like sieging only.
You're not fighting each other. You're fighting. Yeah. So then how would you remove a hero then?
If they have no other unit. It said you move units first and then remove a hero.
Right, but when would you remove the units though? So I'm wondering.
Well, I guess you would move. We individually can move our units.
It said remove.
No, but we can move units around. So if hero's the only one on that space.
No, I meant like remove it from the board. It's saying. It's not saying move it. It's saying remove from the board.
Oh yeah. So yeah, what would remove a unit from the board? Because the sieging back here only removed. So sieging remove the other player's pillar or a player marker from the city. Yeah, so how would you...
So it's almost like these... So what do these give us here?
Just abilities.
Let me see one of these now.
I looked at the bottom one.
Achilles says, your hero counts as a hoplite. Other players may not interact with the land space occupied by your hero through mythology cards. Okay, so they give abilities and extra power. So really it's going to be for taking over land spaces and sieging. So what's the skirmish mode? Let's look at that. Let's see if that adds in battling. And maybe you want to do that.
Gameplay mode allows players to directly attack each other. So yes, we'll have to add this in.
Okay.
And then we need these things back then.
Yeah. We want to fight each other.
Yes. So during step 8 of setup, and we'll go through setup again as we restart here and like
shuffle.
So step 8 of setup is our player things. Take the skirmish tile. Right there, which Nick and I just took. During the status check, if you win a siege and your skirmish tile is also on the game board, remove the skirmish tile without resolving a skirmish.
Okay.
So if you have to siege first during that status check. If there is no siege or you lose the siege, your skirmish tile and your skirmish tiles on the game board resolve the skirmish. Okay. You may attempt to remove another player's unit, building, or pillars contained in the same space as your skirmish tile. Declare a piece you want to go for. You may boost power with tactical support cards, same way you would in sieging. Determine the result of your skirmish. Compare your power to that of the player who you're targeting. Higher power wins. And that's how you would remove pieces. There we go. If you win a skirmish, the piece you declared is removed. The other player returns it to the available spot on their player board, or in this case on that card, and draws 2 cards. After resolving the skirmish, remove the skirmish tile. Always, if you win a skirmish or win a siege, do not perform the domination and consolidation steps of the status check. During your free turn, or during your turn as a free action, you may place the skirmish tile anywhere there's a hoplite.
So saying if you won a skirmish or a siege, do not do B or C?
Correct.
So status...
It says right there at the bottom of A, on your thing, at the end of A.
Skip the rest. Okay, yeah.
In this case,
then
skirmish is like A part 2.
Is there an order to which you have to remove pieces other than the hero having to go last?
No, you get to declare.
Okay.
But you can't declare the hero if there's another unit.
Yeah, the hero has to be the only one that's there. To be able to remove them.
So that's what
so it's the same as a siege, but you're skirmishing instead.
No, because it says if you siege, you're removing a building. But
Yeah, but it's the same thing, but you can remove units.
Yes. But
It's the same thing, but you can remove anything. I think the skirmish.
Skirmish allows you to remove a unit, building, or pillar. So all 3, yes. But it says if you do siege,
Oh, but not cities.
not cities,
Can't take over the city. So you're doing it specifically to remove units and stuff.
and sieging to take the city. But if you siege successfully
You can't skirmish.
in that same city or in that same area. But
No,
if
I said anywhere on the board. You can't do both. You can only siege.
oh yes, correct.
If you,
You're
if
right.
you lose
Yeah, my
the
bad.
siege,
Yeah.
then you
If
can
your
skirmish.
if your skirmish is on the game board at all. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, so it functions the same way as a siege, just it lets you remove their units off the board, which potentially make it easier for you to siege somewhere else at some other point.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us here at Ball and Board Games. I'm Bob.
On board
We will see you
in Greece.
in Greece.